Boston Trucker here. Welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy it. Big dog leading the pack today. Dump load number 4. 4 out, 4 back. Gonna do one more. It's 5. Busy day, busy. Didn't rain last night like Teddy predicted. Roads are dry this morning so far. Get this day started. We'll load up Teddy and then load myself and get out of here. Unless the operator gets here soon. Dump this load out, make sure nothing inside that will contaminate my sand, and then we're gonna head out west. Just want to make sure she's clean. It's very important. You're a dump truck driver, not to contaminate the next material you're picking up. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a bang. One more bang. All right, let's see if it's clean now. I gotta get up there and kick some of that out. 270 screened pipe sand.
10-4. Yeah, SP cards are a little well. Truck 181. The same thing, screen pipe sand.
Podcast for you to listen to. Stogie from the Road. Stogie as in Stogie Cigars.
And I videotaped myself picking it up. And I set it to that, for TikTok, I set it to the song Who's Gonna Fill Their Shoes by George Jones. And I've listened to that song multiple times when I'm driving, and it almost brings me to tears because I think about those glory days back in the 70s and the 80s of truckers, and when we were respected and revered, and people wanted to be us, and I was just a little boy looking at these truck drivers and the old country boy type of classy country boy type of guy. That trucker. The old pearl snap and the belt buckle and the shined up cowboy boots. The trucker hat that had all the pins in it from all of his travels. And it almost brings you to tears when you think about, are those days gone? When you go into those old diners and there's 1.5 people in there and it's quiet. They're not even playing the old country music anymore, but you could tell at one time the place was alive because they've got the big tables like in Betty's Truck Stop in Missouri. You know, the Ludlow Cafe out in Ludlow, California. And you think about there, it used to be like tables full of truckers, just laughter, booming laughter. Yep. My buddy Brandon told me stories about how he, man, I tell you, I love this guy. This guy's my brother. I love
Stogie from the Road. Love it. I love the topics. He's talking about old school trucking and the way truck drivers nowadays have to clean up their acts. Talking about flip-flop truck drivers and stained t-shirts and throwing garbage out of the trucks. And these guys wondering why nobody wants to let them use their bathrooms and they shouldn't show us any respect. And Stogie's telling it how it is. Gotta like that. Enjoying. I gotta get back to listening, but check them out. Stogie from the Road. All right. Dump at number 5. 3 o'clock. What can I tell you? Shell Rotella. Best oil on the planet for your truck. It's not even debatable. Got the word last night. Got the official invite from Shell Rotella. I'll be at the Shell Rotella booth, Mid-America Truck Show. Matt, gotta come by and say hello. There's gonna be a lot going on at the booth this year. Last year was crazy. It was so much fun. It was like a party at the booth the whole time I was there. I'll get you more information about that later. Dates, booth number, all that stuff. If you haven't been to the Mid-America Truck Show before, it's a must. It's like of the best truck shows in the country all year round. You gotta come for a few days. If you come for 3 days, you might see it all. 2, it's debatable. It's a good time. All right, I just looked up the dates. It's March 30th, 31st. That's Thursday and Friday. And Saturday, which is February 1st. So March 30th through February 1st, 3-day show. I plan on being there all 3 days. First 2 days I'll be at the Shell Rotella booth. Saturday I'll be on my own. So, find me. I look like this. This is what I look like. Hopefully we'll get some cool Shell Rotella shirts again like last year. 2 favorite shirts. 2 days I was there, they gave us shirts to wear. I was like, I don't want to wear my own trucker clothes. I don't know, we're gonna provide shirts for you. Cool. Nice shirts. Warm. Alright, let's lock this door and get out of here. Just on the phone with Dave. Dave. Oh, Dave. Dave was in a bunch of my videos last year. My old friend Dave made a video driving 389 Pete and 100-inch bunk, orange Peterbilt. And we made a video. It is 156-inch bunk, Western Star. That Dave. Dave got off the road. He fell in love. Fell in love. Waiting a long time to fall in love. Or for someone to fall in love with him. Oh man. Reconnected with this girl he could never get back in the day. And it's been a whirlwind romance. And Dave was like, what? I'm not quitting my job. I'm not getting off the road. So at least April, this is back in November. I gotta give it some time, make sure it's the real deal. But Dave, I give you 2 months to be off the road. I was wrong. It's about 3 weeks. Dave quit his job, moved in with her. Now he's domesticated, just like me. Love. Gotta work local for an LTL company. Day job. Driving a day cab, single axle, automatic. Dave doesn't like automatics. So one thing I didn't understand about Dave, but Dave does prefer a manual. Dave will tell you he prefers a manual. So, good for Dave. No more cool videos with Dave though. And I met 1992, so what's that, 20 years ago? 30 years ago, 31 years ago. Jeez, getting old. I was 22, yeah, it makes sense. 53 now, I know I don't look it. I know I look like I'm 60, but I'm only 53. And I'm in orientation, Lake City, Minnesota. How I ended up there and how we ended up there, it's a whole nother story. But and then Dave, there's 4 of us in orientation. It was me and Dave, this guy Bob. Bob's from Pawtucket, Rhode Island. 3 East Coast guys out in Minnesota. It's some company I never really heard of. Oh, and the fourth East Coast guy, Don from Woodstock, New York. I won't say these guys' last names because I'm not sure what's about to come out of my mouth. 4 of the best guys I could ever meet. Friends with all of them to this day. It's funny how that happens in trucking. I've talked about it before. You meet somebody or you run with somebody and you can become friends for life. It's just that trucking is such a small-knit community, family. For a lot of us, it just happens. orientation was me, Dave, Bob, and Don. Bob was like a gangster. You ever meet Bob? Bob's a hot shit. He's like, oh, you looking at, you talking to me that? You ain't talking to me that way. I'll come right over there and knock you on your ass. Sorry for the language, kids. Parents. That's Bob. Bob's, you know, you got Bob in your corner, you got a friend for life. You come up against Bob, you might have an enemy for life, so you gotta watch it. Bob's a good dude. One of my favorite people, Bob and Dave. Bob and Dave were friends too. They were friends, and then they weren't friends for like 25 years, then they became friends, now they're not friends again. It's mostly on Dave. Anyways, and when we started at Budman, we all started in cab overs. Not because they were cool. That's where the bottom guys got cab overs first. You work your way into a hood, and everybody wanted a hood. Nobody was volunteering to drive a cab over. Just the way it is. Just the way it is, folks. I wish I could say it was different. And then Don was a badass. Don, he's from Woodstock, New York, originally from New Jersey. Thick New Jersey accent, right? Tall biker dude. Like real biker, but he wore like cowboy boots. And he was so cool. This guy was like the man, right? And we were all like good friends right at the beginning, you know? And I stayed in touch with all these guys. Don's out he gets laid over at the TA in Ontario, California one weekend, right? Layover means there was no freight and he had to wait over the weekend for a load. Happens sometimes. So, way back before he had to take a 34. You know, none of that BS, you know. Hey, get a layover, right? Gets popped for a random drug test, so he has to go to take a drug test, and ends up having some marijuana in his system. So it's like, and they fired him. They had to fire him legally. So I was like, come on, man, dude, I can't believe you got fired over that. That sucks. He's like, yeah, dude. Was hanging out over the weekend. A guy had a joint. I took a couple puffs, and then a guy got me on a random. What am I gonna do? I'm like, damn, that just stinks, right? So, Don goes back home, goes to work for this outlaw trucker, like real outlaw, not like overusing the word outlaw, like Little Window Pete, never crossing a scale, you know, the real outlaw stuff, right? So, whenever I come to the area, if I had time, he actually lived over by Kingston, New York, off of the thruway. Don and his wife would come out and meet me. There was a diner right next to the toll booth there. Sometimes I go to the house. And they kind of live like hippies, you know, biker hippies. You know, they had a lot of kids running around. I'm not even sure how many kids were theirs. Kids running around. Everybody was barefoot in the summertime. It's a real hippie vibe, right? I loved it. Sleep on the couch if I stayed overnight. Park the truck down the street. And I remember the first time I was there, Don pulls out a cigarette pack. And he pulls out a joint. And I go, dude, what's up with that? And he goes, what do you mean? I go, you said you had a puff on a puff on a joint, and he goes, no, dude, look at my cigarette pack. It's lined up with joints. Then he rolls his own. They roll their own joints. I was like, I believed you. I am so naive. He's like, dude, I always smoke weed, dude. Come on, I'm an old school trucker. DOT pickup truck going the other way, looking at me. Bring it on, I'm empty. Just wish I was cleaner. Anyway, so Don and I stayed in touch for years. And one weekend I was heading down, this is how I thought of it, I was heading down to the Mid-America Truck Show in 1996 or 97, and Don's boss had a heart attack and died in the truck down somewhere around Columbus, Ohio. And he asked if I could give him a ride. So Don and I ran down, and I picked Don up, dropped him off in Ohio. Old truck, old Little Window Pete, small bunk. The seat were just, the guts were ripped out of them. I'm like, how is he gonna drive this thing? How does anybody drive this truck? He was a one-off truck, but on the way there, he was telling me stories. This is why I'm leaving his last name out, because he's got a good driving job now. I don't ruin anything for the guy. Out back in Jersey, in his early days, they used to hijack trucks, like for the mafia. Like they would already know what was on the tractor trailers. They'd wait for the driver to pull into the diners or wherever. And when the driver went inside, they would steal the trucks, go to a warehouse, empty them out, and just leave the trucks down the road. So I knew Don. I kept in touch with Don a couple more years, and then I lost touch with him. Phone never stopped answering his phone number. His phone number was no good. This was before Facebook, before Google searches. I just assumed Don got arrested for some reason. Like, he must have got arrested, or he died. I don't know. I'm always thinking people are dying when I lose touch with them. And about 2 years ago, I found his wife on Facebook and him. They're on Facebook, living in Florida. Don's driving for a good company, running the road, and reconnected. And I'm so happy. I haven't seen him in 30 years or so, but that's pretty cool. And I seen Bob. Got to see Bob at Louisville last year, and had a good time with Bob. And now Dave's domesticated. You know, it's funny you talk about people you lose touch with. There was another guy I thought died. This guy, Jeff, right? Jeff he's a cool dude out from the Reno, Nevada area, Lake Tahoe. And he did some kind of special ops in the Marines back in the day. And he was a trucker. And he started his own cattle business and was really starting to grow his business. And he got called back around Operation Desert Storm, I guess. Or maybe it was the late 90s. Maybe it was afterwards, because he could speak the language in Afghanistan, whatever that is. He got called back, right? Let's go to Afghanistan. And he disappeared. Never heard from the guy again. I assumed he died. I'm like, he must have died over there. His contractors are getting killed. And I felt bad because he loved the trucks. He loved trucking so much. And he kind of sounded like he had no choice to go back and be like an interpreter. Ended up loving it and staying over, and been a contractor all these years. I found him on Facebook. Been a contractor over there all these years, traveling the world. No more trucking. It's crazy. Another Bud Meyer guy. Some of my best friends come from there, and it happens in trucking. You just meet people where you work, and you get this connection, this bond to them. Spend time running down the road, swapping stories over the CB radio. You meet up at the truck stops. You got some time, you go inside the truck stop and you have dinner and meet other truckers, and it's like these tight bonds we all have with one another. It's amazing. Some of us still look for those bonds with people. It doesn't happen as much these days. Everybody's got their head down in their phones. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time in truck stops that much anymore, but when I did, there's a lot of times I just wanted to be left by myself, or make a phone call at my table. But there's other times when you're craving the company of other people who are in the same situation as you, and sometimes you don't talk to people for a long time, and you just need to talk to somebody. Sometimes you're just having a bad day, or you went to a bad customer, or you had traffic or weather situation. But I'm sure it would be good if we could go back to those days, the old school days. So the old school guys still talk about the old days before their days and say those weren't the old school days. It was the days 10 years earlier. So just goes around and around and around. Anyways, what is my point of this? My point is, somebody asked me for a story in the comment section. I got a story to tell you now. That was my story. Sticking to it. But anyways, I'm looking forward to going to Mid-America. Mid-America and Super Rigs. We will announce where Super Rigs is going to be during the Mid-America Truck Show. Last year on my way to Mid-America, my flight got canceled. I flew the next morning to Cincinnati and drove the last 100 miles in, which I loved. I loved that. That was so much fun. I almost wish that would happen again. But Louisville, that's the place to be. I used to show trucks in Louisville when I was a young trucker. I learned a lot, made a lot of friends that I'm still friends with today. Some of those friends have died. Cowpoke, my good buddy Cowpoke. Bob Martin, rest in peace, buddy. Man. But you gotta love trucking if you're in it. I can't imagine doing this and not wanting to come to work in the morning and get up and start that diesel. Something about it, you know, gets in your blood. I couldn't imagine, you know, when I drove over the road, not getting up in the morning and wiping down my truck and juicing up my tires and, you know, pulling out of that truck stop with pride, going down the road, just feeling good about it. What's that?
Are you on the phone?
No, I can talk to you.
I'm talking to Michael again about the truck. Yes, they're getting it done right after Palmer. Anthony wants to go around with it. He said that they're redoing the fifth wheel fenders. Pretty much the same thing that I told you earlier, except he thinks that he is going with full black tanks with the truck.
Alright, 10-4. We'll talk about it later there. You have a good ride back that way. You look good to the gravel pit.
Yeah, my wife I'll see them on the walk tonight.
Alright, bud. How's Andrew? He got word they're gonna be painting the T800. Finally. The T800 is getting painted. New tanks, new fenders, new deck plate. They've been talking about doing that. I've been here 10 years. For 10 years they've been talking about doing that. So finally, this is the year it's happening. It's at the spring shop. It's gonna get painted. Probably a new transmission. And they'll be putting a driver in it. I don't know who yet. Maybe me. Maybe me. I'm not giving this truck up, but if something happens, I'll jump in that baby. Maybe Andrew. Or a new guy. Gotta find a new guy who can shift though. That seems to be the problem. Nah, not a problem. Alright. Story time is over. Gotta get back and wash this pig. Get that salt off of it. Ugh. Weather should be dry and very cold the rest of the week. It's already cold now. It's already down to 28 degrees and windy. Why do I always gotta wash when it's cold out? It's not fair. It's cold out. I'm gonna wash. I'm crazy. It's like 27 degrees. Wicked windy. That's with 2 Ks, by the way. Wicked. But it's only going to get colder tomorrow. So I'm bundling up. I'm going to go face the winds. Put an hour into her. Then I'll head her out tomorrow. It's going to be dry and dusty. Dusty salt, but can't just let the salt sit on the truck. All right. Ready. Well, let's get the obligatory before shot. It's salt, 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 salt. Salt, salt, salt. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Muddy, 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 muddy. And salt. People keep asking me, what do I do to prevent the salt corrosion on the truck? But I don't really have an answer except just soap and water. You know, my washing process and WD-40 when I can, when I'm willing. That's about it. All right, I gotta get to work. I pride myself on the 1 hour truck wash. Why 1 hour? Because I got things to do. I gotta pick up kids from after school programs, take them to sports and dance and all that stuff. All right. I'm gonna park her, plug her in, dry her off real quick, get out of here. See you tomorrow. Got some of that Mop and Glow. February 1st. Get that Mop and Glow on the tires. Just to drive into the mud first thing tomorrow morning. Yeehaw! But I'm gonna look good doing it. We used to get about 1 or 2 loads of sand a week. Actually, that's what we were doing last year. Now we're doing probably 5 a week. 6 this week. What a morning I'm having. I gotta tell you, I've been on the phone. First I got a phone call from my old friend Rennie Jason. Rennie's a well-known South Coast Cape Cod trucker. We call that area the South Coast, Massachusetts. On the phone with Pat Flaherty's wife, Irish Spring. Rennie hooked me up with that phone number. I'm going to talk to Pat this afternoon, hopefully, when he wakes up from his nap. See if I can line up an interview. There'll be more on that later. Pat was an American trucker in the 80s. Green 359 with an Irish mural painted on the side of the truck. Hello there, Oscar. And him and I were friends back in the 90s and early 2000s, and I lost touch. But I'm about to get reunited with that. Boy, what a difference in weather since me and Andrew were here yesterday. All snow covered. Now we got dry roads, blue skies. Beautiful.
It was nice looking, but definitely underpowered.
Yeah, we were running a Superliner with a 350 and a 12 speed for the last 5 years. It's sold. It's fun to drive, but hard work.
Back in the day, that's all they had, so it wasn't bad, but fucking nowadays, yeah.
It was our spare truck for 5 years. It was the most reliable truck we had.
Yeah, that's the problem. These fucking new trucks, they suck.
Loading up that unscreened loom. You might call it topsoil where you're from. Middle of February. chill before the great freeze of 2023. People are freaking out. It's gonna be -7 tomorrow morning. Rest of the country, it's just a normal day in the winter. Like to give it a couple extra shakes. Don't want to end up on the side of my trailer. This operator cares. Especially since I'm the one that's gonna have to clean it. That's a thing about some of us dump truck drivers. We can operate too, but the operators can't drive the dump trucks. Some of them anyways. And a lot of operators are former truck drivers. It's kind of like when you're in this business, if you don't want to drive trucks anymore, you become an operator. Usually the operators don't become dump truck drivers though. Not really an operator, I just play one on YouTube. Been saying that for years. Right. Andrew's waiting for me to get out of the way. Temperature's dropping all day, all day. Look at tomorrow, it's gonna be cold. That's why I layer up. I always bring extra layers with me because my thought is if I break down on the side of the road, it's gonna get cold real quick, and I have broken down on the side of the road this time of year. You wanna have extra layers. I got good heat in here though. Water temperatures, it's only at 160 degrees. It's cold, it's working. You know, if you aren't getting good heat in your truck, you know, back in the day, when I started trucking, we used to have winter fronts on the front of the trucks. They were made out of leather, and you snap them in, and you could open there was a zipper in the middle, some of them, and you would leave a little bit of air coming, a little bit of airflow, but the leather would block the cold air going into the radiator, which would give you some heat, help you heat up more. Now if you don't have good heat in your truck this time of year, this kind of weather, piece of cardboard. Don't cover the entire radiator, leave a little bit of airflow there. Piece of cardboard, front of the radiator. I've done it many times. You can either bungee it to the front, doesn't look so good, or you can lift your hood, put a piece of cardboard in front of the radiator, close the hood on it, you'll be good to go. You'll watch the water temperature go right up. Everybody's freaking out about the cold. It's all up here. Gonna work all day? Yeah, why not? It's like this every day in the Midwest. Minnesota, Wisconsin. Come on. Just another day. How am I gonna get up this pile? So it's blowing around. I think we're the only dump trucks out here today. I think people shut down today. always find it funny. Yeah, it's windy and it's cold. This is not snowing out. Sun shining. Truck looks like it's summertime almost. So quiet, warm in here. It's like the tundra out here. Oh, did I show you what I'm wearing today? Got fleece lined pants. Look at them babies. Can you hear the wind? Woo. It's blowing out there. I don't know if you can hear that. Last load, I guess. Go dump this out, bring back some 3/4 stone. Get a ride with the boss, go pick up the T800 from the spring shop. I'll bring that back here. Then they're gonna drop a transmission in it. And then it's going to the paint shop. They get sandblasted, painted, and a little bit of a renovation. Get it ready for the spring. So let's go. Alright, we're at the T800. Well, grabbing the 800 over here at Palmer. They do a lot of our alignment work, spring work, all that kind of stuff. These guys are wizards when it comes to trucks. I was walking back here and gonna be nosy. Sometimes they got some gems back here. See what I mean? See what I mean? It's not a scrap yard, but they get some old stuff here. Look at these old trailers. This stuff's been here for decades, probably. Look at this one. Wow. It's like an old moving van. Pretty neat. Old Dodge. Cool stuff. I've trapped myself in here. I gotta go this way. My favorite's the old yard horse. And I drove one of these for land transport locally. Had a 9-speed in it. Oh yeah, same exact truck. Look at that. Could be the same truck. I can't see what year it is. Late 80s. Wow, that's so cool. Got the 800 back safe and sound. Just going down the road straight. Getting ready to get out of here. Call it a week. Nice and early too on a Friday. It's like 3 o'clock. Beautiful. Whew. How you doing? The reason I didn't film myself at all driving back the T800 on the way back is
because the air buzzer was going off the entire way back. I wanted to like crash into a wall. So mad. And I know somebody's been told about that before. The entire way home. Meh, 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 meh. 120 pounds, all air tanks. Meh, meh, meh. Man. 20 miles, a long 20 miles. I'm gonna do my paperwork and get out of here. All right, we're getting out of here. Thanks for watching this week's video. What did I do this week? Can't remember. I'll be a surprise just like you guys. All right, peace and grace. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Later.